Hi there, and welcome to Lecture 1 of my lecture series titled Normal is Crazy. This first lecture is called Discussing Disability, and in this video we're going to be discussing the concept of disability and how disability impacts all of our lives. For those of you who do not know me, I am a doctoral researcher in the English department at the top public university in the world, the University of California at Berkeley. I am a research scholar working in the field of disability studies since 2019, and my critical work has been published internationally in the UK, the US, Canada, Poland, India, and other countries. And my contributions to this field have also won me perhaps the most prestigious fellowship in the world, which is the Fulbright Fellowship. And my research largely has given me a new lens to not just look at texts, but also people, also society, and also myself. It has allowed me to inculcate in myself the qualities of patience, empathy, and kindness for the people around me. And that is exactly what I want to do with my lecture series titled Normal is Crazy. Did you know in the US, 28.7% of people have a disability? That is 1 out of every 4 people that you meet. The World Health Organization notes that over 1.3 billion people in the world, that is 16% of the world's total population, or 1 out of every 6 people that you meet, is disabled. The ADA, or the Americans with Disabilities Act, defines a disabled person as a person who has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activity. Disability as a social phenomenon has been perceived across ages and nations according to various models. The most common model of viewing disability is the medical model, which sees disability as a disease that can be and needs to be cured. The disabled person, according to this model, is seen as lacking a leg or an arm or a brain, and maybe this model claims surgery or medical intervention will cure this person, will make this person whole again and fix their lack by repairing their flaws. One of the other models of framing disability, which is pretty prevalent in third world nations such as India, is the charity model. According to this model, disabled people are seen as helpless and hopeless victims who are objects of pity and sympathy. When someone sees a disabled person, they click their tongue and offer their condolences and sympathy to the parents and caregivers. "Aw, I'm so sorry, brother." The third model is the religious or the moral model, which frames disability as divine punishment. Some highly superstitious people strongly believe that disabled people were sent with a deformity, physical or mental impairment, in order to pay for the sins of their previous birth. In contrast to these models of viewing disability, the social model of disability argues that disability is created by society, by social barriers and prejudices. Imagine you require glasses for your eyes, but you live in a world where glasses have not yet been invented. Such a world forces you to be disabled. Similarly, the world that we currently inhabit is disabling in many, many ways. It is too full of information, too rigidly defined by unwritten codes and norms of what normal, normative behavior is supposed to look like. In some places, the music is too loud, the lights are too bright. Some places do not have accessible ramps or elevators, disallowing entry to wheelchair users. Numerous texts do not have braille translations. Most images do not come with alternative texts, and most videos do not come with closed captioning. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you spend a couple of minutes thinking about it, I'm pretty sure you can come up with 100 different ways in which this world is disabling for a number of other people. Think, for instance, of the other ways in which a capitalist society disables people financially, legally, spiritually, physically, by disallowing free access to basic resources like food, shelter, water, legal protection, or even time to think and act according to one's bodily needs and desires. The social model challenges the age-old perceptions of disabled people and advocates for accommodation and acceptance. Learning about disability is the first step to realizing that the problem is not with one individual or a family, that there is no shame or guilt or fear in being deaf or blind or autistic. The problem is with the structure. The problem is with a society that makes disability the burden of a single individual or a family and makes very little effort to provide assistance in the process of caregiving. So join me on this journey as I talk more in my lecture series on disability, the question of normalcy, why no one is normal. I will talk here about disability studies, movies, books, poetry, autobiographies, and other texts by disabled authors, exploring ways to see and frame disability differently by analyzing representations of disability in our culture. Through this lecture series, I hope you will be able to learn how to view disability in a different fashion, how to treat disabled people in your own life, and to keep your eyes and ears open to see what you as a human being can learn from a disabled person.